Okay, let's go ahead and fix Zombie's head. I went and took a look back in Modeler just to verify that I had not made any mistakes with the weight maps, and just as I suspected, I had not made any mistakes. So I'm pretty sure what's going on here is that, we can see that Zombie's jaw and his chin, everything is just huge, and it's really actually pretty far away from this bone here, the head bone. And probably what's happening is that because we've got our fall-off type set to 128, that means that these points right here just aren't coming along for the ride quite as much as we'd like to. Well, we can go ahead and fix that. And the way that we fix that is we go down here into the strength, and we multiply. We just increase that number. And I experimented around quite a bit, and I found that setting it up to about 10,000 was really kind of the magic number. So let's go ahead and take a look now. And now you can see no problems at all. That chin is following just fine. Okay, so go ahead and save the scene here. And now we're going to talk about some more advanced controls or advanced things we want to set up in our rig. And first, let's go ahead and tackle this wrist fall off. Remember, I told you we split this bone up so that what ultimately we were going to have happen is that when we rotated the hand, we'd like to have a little bit of fall off into the wrist. How do we do that? Well, it's really easy. I'm going to go ahead and select this lower arm bone, and I'm going to hit M for motion options. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a modifier, and the modifier I'm going to add is called follower. What does follower do? Well, follower sets the property of the object that it's applied to based on another property of some other object in your scene. So really what I'm looking to do is to take the bank of this particular bone, as you can see here, which is represented by the blue handle here, and I want that bank to follow the bank of the hand, so that when I rotate the hand on the bank, this bone back here rotates as well. But I don't really necessarily want to create a one-to-one relationship there. I don't really want it to rotate as much as the hand, maybe just some fraction of it. So we can actually set that up pretty easily. I'm going to double click here to open up the little dialog box for follower, and you'll see a lot of junk in here that may look confusing at first, but it's actually quite simple. First thing I'm going to do is go down here into this area, the channel and source area, and I'm just going to select none, 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 none. I'm going to leave the bank as it is, none, none, and none. So what do we have left here? We have the bank angle of the channel of the current object, which is the left lower arm bone. We're getting the bank information in that channel from a source. And what's the source? Well, it's going to be the hand ultimately, but it also allows us to choose, any or a bunch of values or properties from that source object. And since we already found out, or we already looked and we saw that the bank of the wrist is supposed to correspond to the bank of the hand, we can just leave bank here and bank here. And then we need to set the item to follow. And the item that we're going to follow is going to be the right hand. And where's that located? Right hand there. But I'm going to go ahead down here, and before I click continue, I'm going to actually select this, and I want to decrease the amount here. If I left it at 1, it would have a 1-to-1 relationship to the bank rotation of the hand. And actually, I find that usually around 0.3 is pretty good. Let's close that up, and let's select our hand. And now, if we rotate, you'll see that bone is rotating along with it. And that looks pretty nice. Now, I'm not going to say that 0.3 is an absolute value that I have to use all the time. I would go ahead and maybe experiment with some different values and see what you find and how well that works for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and select that bone again, hit motion options. I'm going to go into edit, copy. I'm going to select this other bone over here and click paste. But I need to go in here and change that from the right hand to the left hand, which is located somewhere on this huge list. left hand right there. Go ahead and select left hand and verify that that's working correctly, and it is. Okay, next let's go ahead and deal with some of these other special bones that we created. And what I'm going to be looking at here is the two kneecap bones. First thing I'm going to do is go into my left viewport, and I'm going to select this bone here. I'm just going to rotate it down a little bit so it's approximately parallel to the ground plane. Set a key for it. Set a key for it. And this may just be undone when we actually add in follower. But just to be on the safe side, I'll leave it like that. So same principle applies here. We're going to apply follower to the kneecap bone so that when this bone, the lower leg bone, is rotated, that this kneecap bone rotates a little bit with it, and that's going to help us keep a little bit of form in our kneecap, keep it poking out just a little bit. So I'm going to go in here to motion options, and I'm going to click add modifier and add follower once again. And actually, you know what I need to do first is I need to show you what we're going to be following. We've got the pitch here of the kneecap bone, and actually down here for this bone, what we need to be following is the heading. So pitch to heading. Select that bone again. Go back into motion options, and I'm going to go ahead and select these to none. And here we are at pitch. I click that to heading, and moving on down. Click those to none. And then the item that we're going to be following is the right lower leg, which is located right there. And in this case, actually, I found that setting up a one-to-one relationship works out fairly well. I'm going to go ahead and click continue, and I'm going to click copy while I'm at it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and select this IK goal. Actually, if you look in display options at the moment, I have show IK chains turned off, but they're still there. And now I'm going to go ahead and rotate, move, and let's take a moment and actually up our display level. So we'll need to move that back. And you can see, if you look really closely, that knee bone is moving around. If we turn off bone X-ray, we might get a little bit better look at what's happening there. Look at that. And I think that looks really nice. Maybe a little bit too much. Maybe it could be, you might be able to play around with that value a little bit. But you get the general idea. You know, I'm not going to go through and iron out every single kink for you. I think as long as you have enough information to go on, you can certainly have fun and get to play around a little bit yourself and find out what works well for you. Let's go ahead and select this bone over here. Go to motion options and click paste. And then we need to change this from the right lower leg to the left lower leg, which is located right there. And that's very good. I'll go ahead and save my scene. And notice that I am back in the zombie rig scene. I should have told you that at first. Remember, the zombie poses was just to check out some deformation. So I'm actually probably going to throw that scene away in a little while. Okay, lastly, let's go ahead and tackle the elbow. Again, same exact principle is going to apply here. I'm going to take this elbow, this is the elbow cap, right elbow cap, and noticing here that it's actually the heading that I want to control, and also it looks like it's the heading on this right lower arm bone. That's what I want to follow. Okay, so let's select that, go to motion options, and we're going to add follower to it. And go through here, set these to none. Heading, remember, is going to follow the heading of our source. And our source, the item that we're going to follow, is the right lower arm. Where is that located? Right lower. Remember, we have the right lower arm and the right lower arm roll, and we want the right lower arm. This time I'm going to set it to about 0.5. And actually, I can see right away that that's what I want, because now I've got that bone sort of in between the angle between the right upper arm bone and the right lower arm bone, and that is precisely what I wanted to have happen. And let's go ahead and let's copy that. Select this null, move it around a little bit. This one's a little bit harder to judge because it's really a tiny bone, and it's really kind of a minor effect. It's not something that's really pronounced. If this were a different kind of character, maybe, where that upper arm wasn't so cylindrical and had a little bit more geometry and definition in it, you might notice a bigger difference. And it's just a sort of little added touch. Let's go in here and select the left elbow cap, go into motion options, click paste, and I'm going to change that from the right lower arm to the left lower arm. Click continue, and there you have it. Go ahead and slide everything back into place. And actually I think that's going to do it for setting up these basic expression type things for a rig. And next, in our final, I'm thinking it's going to be our final lesson, we're going to go ahead and fix up our entire rig and set the selection ability for our bones, and we're going to set up a few proxy objects, and then you're going to have some fun and do something with Zombie, I hope. Make them do something funny. Alright, we'll see you in the next lesson.